Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and my friends, the stage is set, the world is waiting, and in my humble opinion, it's inevitable. The way that money moves around the planet, it's changing fast, and it's going to change even more dramatically from where we are today. It really is just a matter of time. I firmly believe that blockchain technology is going to be at the core of it, and I believe quite strongly that XRP has a substantial opportunity to play a huge part in all this, in particular, being positioned as a bridge currency. This is all in place. It's been getting set up for the better part of a decade. And part of what's exciting long term, even though I understand in the short term with this market cycle that we're going through, I get it. It looks like it's going to be just like last market cycle in 2017, when every mid-cap and every large-cap coin literally went parabolic at some point during that market cycle. It looks like that's how humans are still behaving, which does speak to the degree that this asset class is nascent. But look, ultimately, if you want to hold cryptocurrencies for a long time and have them be actually viable for the long term, they have to solve real-world problems. There are over 7,000 cryptocurrencies today, and do you think that we need a new form of money, effectively, for every new business idea that's out there? Because I'm not convinced of that. Yeah, I'm absolutely not convinced of that. Imagine if, you went to the grocery store and you had to have a banana coin to purchase a banana, and you had to have an avocado coin to purchase an avocado, and you had to have a bologna coin to purchase a delicious sweet pack of bologna. Imagine if you had to do that. What a messed up world. You don't need a new form of money for everything that can be purchased and every new business idea. It just is not the case. But it does make sense that there would be a number of winners that would have staying power in perpetuity for decades and beyond, but only if and only if, they end up solving a real world problem. Utility, utility, utility. My investment thesis from the beginning has been that utility matters and will win the day. Now, in the short term, yes, I acknowledge that pretty much everything's going to pump, so I'm purchasing some silly stuff because I just am acknowledging how humans behave, and I know that people are going to FOMO in and panic sell, and so I'm planting seeds, if you will, in coins that haven't gone parabolic yet, because I believe that they will, and if they don't, then I'm going to lose my investment, but I'm willing to take that gamble. Just based on my experience in the space for over 3 years now. Happy to do it. I'll live if I'm wrong. If it goes to zero, I'll live. But I think that pretty much everything's going to pump. But ultimately, what am I going to be holding? Out of all the cryptocurrencies I hold today, what am I going to be holding years from now? Well, I plan to never sell all of my XRP. Once it goes parabolic this market cycle, assuming it does, which I suspect will be the case. We'll see. This is not financial advice, of course. I don't know for sure, but assuming it does, I'll sell a substantial portion, but I'm never going to sell all of it, because as long as, now there's a caveat, is as long as XRP continues to actually functionally be used. And so that's why it was so neat to go through this piece written by Ripple employee Pat Thelen, if I'm saying that right, could be Thielen, not really sure. But this is titled Setting the Stage for Digital Global Payments, and it was interesting. They talked about, there are three really areas categories covered within this piece, and it was also kind of neat to see them talking about paper money. You'd think that would go the way of the dodo, my favorite extinct avian creature, but not so fast. And so I do want to be clear before I go any further. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast that enjoys talking about XRP and crypto-related topics and makes YouTube videos purely as a hobby. Oh, and by the way, there's another cryptocurrency, XLM. You know what XLM is, right? Stellar Lumens. Adopted by Flare Networks. Well, how about that? And this is good, and I'm going to make the case for this in this video. Let me run through just some of this article because I think it's really fascinating. Because again, I think this is all set. And if you're talking about the way, I want to say this too before I even start reading any of this. If you're talking about a true solution to the train wreck that is the world of global cross-border payments, the only solution that has been devised by humans requires a technologically sufficient decentralized cryptocurrency with an open market price. And the only cryptocurrency on the planet that is being positioned for this use case today is XRP. And if another cryptocurrency that has those types of attributes ends up being positioned for such a thing, I might be interested in investing in that too. Because I'm not here for ideological reasons. This is not, like it's so easy for people to get tied up in like, like the tribalism, this and that. You think about Bitcoin maximalism and this and that. And for me, it's just like, no, whatever makes logical sense, that's where I'm going to go. And that's why I've always said, if I ever think that XRP is going to be a dead end, I will shout it from the rooftops on this channel. I am not beholden to Ripple or just the idea of holding XRP. Nothing. No. Now I am Mr. XRP bull for a reason. But for as far as long-term viability goes, but it doesn't go any deeper than that. But anyway, take a look at this. In the evolution of digital payments, it's clear that financial institutions and payment providers will continue to adopt blockchain technology to drive real-time cross-border payments growth. This digital ledger infrastructure, which integrates with bank accounts, digital wallets, and even cash payout channels, will become the engine to provide the convenience, speed, ease of access, transparency, and trust demanded by today's businesses and consumers. The adoption of cryptocurrencies, which has surpassed $1 trillion in value as a digital asset class, and has matured well beyond the early years of negative connotations, is poised to eliminate friction and become the lubricant to accelerate the transformation of the $1.9 trillion global payments market. And so therefore, we anticipate these key trends igniting a state of hypergrowth for digital payments globally in 2021 and beyond. And I mean, does anybody think that this idea of it taking several days to convert one fiat currency to another, do you think that that's going to persist when you can send a text message to the other side of the planet in real time or an email? Do you think that this is going to stand? Because I understand why it's been like this up to this point. This technology, it didn't exist until, if you're talking about blockchain technology, that didn't even exist until 12 years ago. And you could think, well, why hasn't it happened? It's been 12 years. Well, because there were all these negative connotations as cited in this piece right here. It takes a long time for people to come around, but we're at that inflection point. We really are, where it used to be the case, like if you were a financial advisor and you were trying to get people into crypto, people would run from you, be like, that person is crazy, is not trustworthy. Now it's flipping. It's like a 180. Where if you're a financial advisor, it's getting to the point anyway. In some places, it already is that point in many people's minds, where if you're a financial advisor and you are not advising that your clients have even at least a small bit of exposure, even just 1% of their net worth in crypto, or at least funds available to invest moving forward, if you're not suggesting something at least, and you're a financial advisor, you're then you're the black sheep. It's so funny how this is all flipping. So I almost want to say so quickly. I almost said so quickly, and I was like, well, it was 12 years. But then, the scheme of things, though, this still is very early days. So maybe it is reasonable to say that. But what about paper money? Look, when we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, it's evident that cash is still king. However, as cash continues to hold steady, digital payments will continue to grow. So even before the beer flu, somewhat ironically, cash has been the core enabler of digital growth. For example, the top cross-border payment companies report that cash accounts for more than 80% of all transactions, and only a small subset of total transactions is purely digital. So, despite our world growing more virtual by the day, the majority of consumers still crave and value access to physical cash. When asked what features were important when choosing a primary bank or deposit account, 70% of consumers named convenient, fee-free access to cash through an ATM. Oh yes, ATMs. Oh, man, what a money racket, right? They have been. See, all this is changing, though. Things are evolving. I think they're going to be, look, business models are going to evolve to a point, and banks are absolutely going to have to adapt. And the smart ones are adapting right now to find an area where there can be new revenue streams, because a bulk of their business is absolutely going to get caught out. Just imagine when central bank digital currencies do come out and people can self-custody. Yes, there will be individuals that still will want banks to take responsibility of holding it, their funds. But when there's an opportunity to have a personal digital wallet in which you can also put cryptocurrencies, there will be a bunch of people that do that too. And so it will take share away from the banks. And but the good news is there's other ways to make money off of crypto. So for those banks that are forward thinking, they'll be able to find long-term success. And that's why these people that say down with banks and all that, I'm just thinking, why? First of all, why would you want that's evil? Like, there are people that work there and they have, these banks employ people. They're part of your community. I don't know why you keep saying down with banks. That's crap. Most of them are just good, legitimate companies helping to support their local communities, their small businesses. But, they have an opportunity to adapt and move forward. Those that do will persist. Those that don't won't. And so there's this little subhead in here, accelerated adoption of mobile money and fintech. Global tech giants within the fintech space are investing heavily in digital payment technology, fueling rapid market growth and adoption of the mobile wallet. It's estimated that in 2024, there will be 4.3 billion mobile wallet users globally. You guys are hearing that, right? Let me pause. Today, the number off the top of my head, I think it's more or less right. There are 7.8 billion humans on the planet. And here they're saying in just 3 years, 4.3 billion mobile wallet users globally. And that's up from 2.3 billion in 2018. And so it doesn't necessarily mean all crypto necessarily, but still you see the trend that the direction that we're going, and especially with the advent of central bank digital currencies. China's obviously going that route. They're very public about that. It looks like the United States will at some point. Hell, the Bahamas, they launched the first ever central bank digital currency, I think in October it was definitely last year, but I believe it was end of October last year. Like, it's here, guys. It is here. And so it's not just consumers who are shaping this trend. 69% of banks are currently experimenting with blockchain technology as they invest in platform modernization initiatives to drive the digital payment option. By 2030, it's estimated that there will be more than 200 million blockchain wallet users. Moreover, the United States' oldest bank, BNY Mellon, recently announced it will roll out a new digital custody unit in 2021, helping clients deal in digital assets, including cryptocurrencies. And look, so here's the cool thing about all of this. This is all inevitable. And these cryptocurrencies and these fiat currencies, even if you're talking about a central bank digital currency, understand it's the same thing as if you're talking about, say it's the United States dollar, let's say that there's a central bank digital currency of that. It's the same thing that the United States dollar is today, in terms of monetary policy. It's just a different technological version of that. It's a technological evolution of it, but in the way in which it'll be spent, this and that, it's that part's not really changing. There can be benefits, including potentially efficiencies to be picked up in terms of tax reporting, this and that, and that's all great. That's absolutely all great, more efficient, fine. But it still has the same shortcomings that it has today, even if there's this new version of it, because the monetary policy is the same. There's no finite market cap of it. It will continue to get debased, printed into oblivion, just electronically. That's all going to happen still. And so all of these central bank digital currencies, all of these cryptocurrencies, they do not interoperate. You need to have a bridge currency if you want to be able to make them interoperable, if you want to be able to convert from one to another. And in a world that is increasingly becoming liquid, that's going to be important, because we're entering a world where you're going to be able to easily purchase fractions of real estate or a piece of art. It's going to be super easy 24/7, 365 to get in and out of stocks. And these things, by default, are not going to be able to talk to each other. You need to have sufficient liquidity of a bridge currency on exchanges the world over. And again, there is only one that is being positioned for this today, and that happens to be XRP. To me, that's exciting. So when you're talking about long-term viability, the stage is set. This is what I'm talking about, and the world is waiting for this progress. It is, in my eyes, inevitable. And so, it doesn't mean it's 100% certainty that XRP is going to be the winner for this use case. Something could come out of left field that I or you couldn't have perceived. But if that's the case, I'm watching. Hopefully I'll be able to catch it, right? But right now, to me, it just looks like XRP is the best position for this. So we'll just see what happens. And then they had this an additional subheading here, a new generation of technology providers. In 2020, we saw X as a service offerings gained considerable ground as a means of powering some of the biggest names in fintech. Payments as a service, banking as a service, remittance as a service. In 2021 and beyond, we don't expect this trend to lose steam. In fact, it will only gain more momentum, expanding to new corners of the payment space with emerging products catering to a wide variety of customers, specifically in the realm of business to business. Right. And so this, and I've been talking about this on the channel too here. There is no going back. The genie is not going back in the lamp, right? Now take a look at this. Here's this headline from Crypto Briefing. Flare brings Ethereum compatibility to Stellar. Now this is awesome. There are some people in the XRP community that get a little huffy and puffy when, not many of them, but I do see them from time to time on Twitter. They don't seem to like that XRP isn't the only coin that's going to be benefited from Flare networks, and I'm just sitting here like, what the hell's wrong with bigger adoption? Like this is, because look, you're talking about cementing the Spark token, which you can choose to claim. If you have chosen to claim it, this is good for you, okay? And it would still be good for XRP, because any cryptocurrency that is going to be part of Flare network, I believe in the long term, assuming this is all going to be long-term viable, that you get some benefits from it here, right? So Flare Networks has announced that it will integrate Stellar Lumens with its smart contract platform, thereby offering compatibility with the Ethereum blockchain. They announced this just the other day. Flare's decision to integrate Stellar Lumens means that users will be able to create XLM-backed tokens and use those tokens with Ethereum-based DeFi projects like Uniswap. This will be achieved through Flare Network's F-Asset protocol, which allows investors to transform cryptocurrencies into bridge tokens. While Stellar already supports native smart contracts, its own contracts are not compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, and Flare's approach will overcome that restriction. And so you can see here's the tweet from Flare Networks on the 25th. Flare will be integrating XLM as an F asset, bringing XLM to scalable smart contracts and a trustless gateway to Stellar. Decentralization is far too important for maximalism. Ecosystems must be united. And you know what? That made me think of a number of comments from David Schwartz, including this one from June 18th, 2020. And he was talking about PayID, which, by the way, has been rebranded to PayString. And so David Schwartz did retweet something from Ripple, which has been deleted. It was about PayID. That's the reason it's been deleted, just so you know. It's not like they're trying to hide something. It's that PayID is now PayString, so they deleted the original tweet from back in June. But anyway, David Schwartz, who is Ripple CTO, co-creator of the XRP Ledger, tweeted the following on June 18th last year. The future of payments has never been walled gardens. PayID is breaking down walls bit by bit, starting with these 40 players onward. And so my point in this is not to go into what PayID is, that's outside the scope of this, but it's the idea of bringing down walled gardens. Here's another quote from David Schwartz. This is from April 14th, 2018. He's been delivering the same message forever. He wrote, "Fight for everyone's freedom to voluntarily hold and exchange any asset they like. Build bridges, not walls." Here's another one. Here's another tweet. This is also on April 14th, 2018. He wrote, "You cannot build one network so great, everyone will use it because people want vastly different things. You want to get everyone inside your wall. I want to tear it down." I love that quote so much. I really do. I've covered that on the channel before. I freaking love that quote. Cool stuff here, guys. We're on the precipice of something great, and not just crazy retail FOMO speculation. That's going to be fun too. I think 2021 is going to be a fun, wacky year in terms of price action, I think, to the positive. But moving forward, I think there really will be some coins that have some serious staying power, and it's just exciting to think that XRP really could be one of them. We'll see. Let's let this all unfold. But if XRP is here decades from now, the prices we're seeing today, people will be like, "Holy hell, you were around when you could purchase it back around 50 cents?" Yep. I'll wrap up there, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.